Okay, so I make that 10 o'clock now, so we'll get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome along to another edition of Landmark's Compliance Corner webinars. My name is Sam Peacock. For those of you who haven't spoken with me before, I'm the Business Development Manager here at Landmark Estate Agency Services, with mainly my role focusing on compliance. So just to point out that all our previous compliance webinars are available on our YouTube channel. If you just search for Landmark Estate Agency Services, you should find it. And they're a great resource for staff training should you wish to use them as well. We will email you a copy of today's session as well as our YouTube link, but we are also running a short 3-part email series on suspicious activity reports throughout August. So we'll include the sign up link to that too. Now, the webinar shouldn't take more than 20 minutes, but you are all on mute just to prevent any background noise. But if you do have any questions, as always, my contact details will be on the very last slide for you all to get in touch. So let's get started. So the focus of today's webinar is going to be about suspicious activity reports, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the term and you know what a SAR is, but it's important to ensure that all your staff are aware of what it is and why it is needed. In a nutshell, it's a form that your money laundering officer submits to the National Crime Agency should you deem any behaviour by a client or prospect as suspicious. SARs are vital in alerting them to potential instances of money laundering or terrorist financing. The Transparency International said that the amount laundered through the UK property market each year is set to be around £4.4 billion, and that's probably only the tip of the iceberg from what they are aware of. Now imagine what 4.4 billion could mean to the UK's economy rather than being in criminals' pockets. I mean, just for example, think about what impact that type of money could have on the NHS. With these alarming numbers, it is understandable to see why there has been increased focus to tackle this problem over the recent years and why all eyes are now on the property sector and now more than ever. The National Crime Agency received over 463,938 SARs between April 2017 and March 2018, but only 710 came from estate agents. This means that less than 1% of all suspicious activity reports submitted come from estate agents. Now, considering how much money is suspected to be laundered through the buying and selling of property, HMRC and the UK Financial Intelligence Unit are concerned that agents are either missing or ignoring the signs. Now, they're visiting firms and handing out fines and suspensions where they see people ignoring their legislative responsibilities. The CLC provides a useful list of red flags which you and your staff can familiarise yourself with, as it will help you to decide if you need to complete a SAR. So the link is available via their website, but do take it down if that's easier. But just to think of a few examples, think about situations such as, do they pay in cash but then ask for part payment back a week or so later, or maybe even a refund? Does the money appear in the same named account as the person you are dealing with? Is there a quick turnaround in the sale of the property without any clear explanation as to why? Is the choice of solicitor perhaps strange to the situation? Or, do they seem to show little interest in the actual property and just want a pressured quick purchase? Or are they being forthcoming with information with you, or are they being quite anonymous? Anytime you or your staff deem anything at all to be suspicious, it's just always better to report it to the money laundering officer for your agency, which we'll come on to in a moment. So how do we submit a SAR? Well, as part of the Money Laundering Regs 2017, your staff need to be trained on how to verify clients, but also how to look out for suspicious behaviour. If they do deem anything to be suspicious, they need to know who the money laundering reporting officer is in your agency and how to report this to them. The money laundering reporting officer must then decide whether to make a suspicious activity report based on the information that you have given them. If they decide not to, they must make a note of why that is. If you do decide to submit a suspicious activity report, the most effective way to do so is online via the National Crime Agency website. You can fill in a paper-based form to submit by post or fax, but the NCA recommend you do it online because then there's a number of advantages in doing it in this way, such as you'll get an automated receipt for your records. Using the form helps to ensure you've provided enough information as well that the NCA need. And it also negates the need for paper-based reporting, and it can just be made 24/7 accessible then. It's a good idea to register with the National Crime Agency anyway, and to put the login details perhaps in your money laundering policy to demonstrate you know what to do with a SAR. Although it is hard to decide how much information to include, you need to strike a balance between providing relevant information and also not being too brief so that the form will help with that. And once again, you can refer to their website for a more in-depth guidance document on how to submit a SAR, as there's a lot of information that they provide. Too much to go through in this short session today, but let's just take a brief look at their best practice advice when it comes to submitting a SAR. So, who, what, where, when, why, and how? These are some of the basic questions you need to be asking yourself. So, who is involved and how are they involved? What and where is the property? If you know the address, you must give it. What is the value of the criminal or terrorist property? You should be able to estimate this, if not give an exact figure. When and how the circumstances arose. When are the circumstances planned to happen? Why are you suspicious? And which criminal act you believe they want to carry out? There is also a list of key information to include when the SAR relates to the purchase or sale of a property, so do make sure you have all the information required. If you can't comply with the customer due diligence measures, you must not carry on estate agency work for the seller or buyer. For example, if the individual is not willing to provide their identity, you must terminate any existing business relationship with that seller or buyer, and you must then consider whether to make a suspicious activity report to the National Crime Agency. Lastly, we come to penalties for non-compliance. Now, we've all heard in industry press of agents being fined, and they are no small sums. Not to mention the stress of going through an inspection and being taken through the procedures where they deem you to be non-compliant, as well as how it can affect your business income and reputation. This pressure isn't going away either, as the government are pushing their Flag It Up campaign to try to shine a brighter light on money laundering and reduce the billions of pounds that is laundered through the UK every year. There's also going to be a fifth directive to the money laundering guidance released next year as well. Now, as we approach this, we'll be running a number of webinars to help agents prepare for what's to come as well. Thank you all for listening for me today. If any of you have listened to this and think that you could benefit from a free 15-minute compliance consultation, we do offer these. If you're just looking for a bit of support, or you have quite a lot of questions about how you're doing things currently, whether there's ways to do things better, then by all means, my contact details are here on the slide. You can always get in touch with me, and I'll try to help you as best that I can. We do, as I said at the start, host these webinars every month with a different topic each month as well. And as I said, they're all available on our YouTube channel. We will be sending this recording out as well to everyone. So if you obviously want to share it with your staff, or there's anything that you missed, then we will be sending that recording out later today, as well as a link to our suspicious activity report blogs. It's just a 3-part blog series that we're going to do throughout August, just to expand on this a bit further as well, just to help give you a bit more guidance on that. But thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.